Hello YouTube, I'm Elwirfy, and today we're going to be talking about something that I feel like a lot of people try and explain, but ultimately perhaps don't quite get to the point. And it's this idea that you can change, and I already made a video about changing content, but there's certain ways to go about it that are better or worse depending on how you want to look at the situation. Sure, there's of course the possibility that changing your content will be a big help and that it will be something that'll skyrocket your channel to new heights. It certainly worked for me, as we can see. Making different styles and different kinds of videos has certainly helped me out and gained some brand new viewers, which I do want to say thank you again to everyone who has been supporting me. It really does mean a lot to the success of the channel that I'm able to keep making videos and keep up the motivation. But there are ways to change your content that don't necessarily help your channel. Like when I did do my transition to making discussion videos, I didn't even really do it correctly, because as you can see now, I'm making, commentary on top of gameplay. That's obviously kind of the YouTube standard, right? I'm not reinventing the wheel, but I am notably making it more engaging than just you guys looking at a still screen, because I feel like maybe that might not be as entertaining. So I went and did gameplay. The gameplay is going to change over time. Maybe I'll do a Let's Play series inside the gameplay. That'd be kind of cool, that you guys could follow along with as we change our topics. But I made it very smooth transition, so think about the way I've done it, right? And I think my channel is a good example to study. I first made videos just reacting to comments. I talked about my journey, and I essentially reevaluated my whole situation on YouTube and tried to make a change, an honest change to the channel to make the content more engaging and more interesting. And making things more interesting is ultimately at the heart of why we make YouTube videos, right? So there's something to be said about the idea that we're working really hard to make videos that are going to be interesting not only to yourself but also to the public. You want to make sure that whatever concept you're switching to, you're making sure it's something that you are feeling like you would be unhappy if you weren't making this kind of content. Because I think the way that I switched isn't necessarily the best example. I think there's something to be said about wanting to make the content that pleases your audience, but it also needs to please you too, right? Like if I didn't enjoy putting in the extra effort to put my audio on top of video, then I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't bother making content that makes me unhappy, especially considering how much editing that has to go into getting these clips together, then recording a narration on top of it. It's not easy. It's not simple. And shooting this video, you might hear slight background noises because that's just the style of the video. I've just decided arbitrarily to add in background noise. So we'll see if that works out nice, or if you guys hate it. Like if it doesn't sound good, I'll go back to making the silent videos. We'll see. There's only one way to find out, right? It's just kind of experimenting, going with the flow, seeing if your guys' ears are the same as mine, or if I'm wrong. It all depends. And there's no right or wrong way to do YouTube. And I think that's something that's really nice about making YouTube videos, especially when you're going to go to try and make new content, or you want to change your content but you're worried that maybe the content isn't going to be right, is that you can do whatever you want. People say, oh, you always make 100 bad videos or whatever amount it is before you even get off the ground. I've been making bad videos for a long time, and I'm really happy to say that I'm enjoying the progression of the channel. And hopefully you guys have been agreeing with it too, because of course the progression of the channel is going to be slow, and any new YouTube channel, I don't expect overnight success. I mean, I wish you all to do that, and if any of you do, good for you. Super proud and stunned. I always get surprised when I see channels that somehow pop off, after a couple months. That's really impressive, but it's typically because they find a popular niche and just kind of stick with it. I don't know. I will admit I don't really follow popular niches that much. In fact, my content, I'm not even sure we'd call it at this point. Just discussion about different topics, I suppose. So certainly my content isn't like geared towards a set audience. It's kind of more like anyone who's willing to listen sort of a thing. So that's another thing you need to keep in mind, is that make sure that whatever new content you are making, it is something that would be geared towards your current audience, you know. Like the change to make this video compared to making the previous discussion videos is very minor. All I did was essentially change what you're seeing on the screen to be something that is, in my opinion, more visually interesting than just me sitting awkwardly in a webcam, you know. So that way now you get some cool, exciting action to view while we talk about pretty important stuff. And, you know, that's fine with me. I like the way it flows. So that's what we're going to do. Now, one thing that is kind of bad about changing your content, as I touched on already, is the fact that it's not technically what you originally promised with your video. So keep in mind that if you're changing your content because you're tired of making a certain type of video, you might want to explain that to your audience. You don't want to necessarily, like, you don't want to switch cold turkey, because if you do, then it's very likely that your audience will feel like you've suddenly changed and they don't know why. And it's really good, I think, to just let your audience know, hey, you know, the old style wasn't working, and to help try and make more entertaining content, you know, or whatever. Maybe it's informational content. Maybe the information wasn't good. You know, maybe you're like fact checking yourself. I don't know. It's really tough to say. So you just want to make sure that whatever you end up doing, that it's something that you can be proud of. Because it's hard to be proud of your work when you don't always know if that work is going to be like the most successful or the least successful work that you've done so far. And, you know, I would hope that anybody who's aspiring to do their best to make content to the best of their ability would want to be honest and open about the direction of the channel. Which is why, as we obviously are making these videos, I'll point out this is probably going to be the style of the videos for a while. And it's very likely that by the time this video is posted, I'll have already been making a backlog of these kind of videos for you guys to enjoy. And again, I hope you really are enjoying them. Of course, I know it's not for everybody, but I'm really excited to see how this is going. And I love that the change of content is going to be something that is, you know, engaging, it's diverse, you know, it's something that we haven't done before on the channel that I've wanted to do for a while. And had I known actually that we had this tool earlier on, I would have made this kind of video a lot more often, you know. And, you know, it's like essentially we're starting from ground zero. So think about it like that. Every time you change your style of content, you need to make sure that you, in my opinion, remind your audience that you are doing something brand new. So it might take some time to make everything look fancy, because you're not always able to do that, which sucks. But, you know, sometimes that's just how it goes. I think I want to kind of end off the video just really briefly talking about the idea that we are, at the end of the day, doing our best to make content to entertain or to inform or to explain, whatever your purpose is. So make sure that, in my eyes, when you change your content, make sure that the change is going to somehow enhance what you're already doing. Like, the reason why I put gameplay underneath my voice is because I thought it would be more of an enjoyable experience visually to watch, instead of making the video feel like just a podcast. You can still listen to it that way. In fact, I might turn the main video audio off entirely for when I do this. So we will just have to wait and see what sounds good. But no matter whether I leave some of the gameplay audio in or not, I would hope that it would still be enjoyable to watch, which I guess is the ultimate goal of the videos that I'm making. You know, it's just to make sure that whatever is being made is, you know, good for you guys. I know I'm going in circles. It's also just because I really want to hit home. I don't want to make a video about this again. Essentially, I want to make this one video and get all your questions answered. So what if you're doing collaborations? I bet that's going to come up probably. What if you're working with other people and you want to change your content? Well, you got to get the other person on board. That should be obvious, but just in case it's not, got to get the other person on board. And two, more importantly, you got to make sure that the new style is going to work for both of you. Like if these commentary videos, like if I had someone talking with me and then they had something to show on the screen that would enhance the discussion, then I probably wouldn't be able to throw gameplay underneath, because then you'd miss out on seeing whatever someone is presenting to the channel, to the viewers, to you guys. So you just got to keep in mind that whatever you decide to switch to, if it's in a group, that everyone is on board, that everyone's aware of it. You got to be upfront. Don't try and hide anything, and just do the best that you can. Anyway, guys, I'm Elwirfy. I hope you all have enjoyed. I try my best to make new stuff for you and have a lot of fun plans for the future. And I'll definitely be seeing you guys next time.